Hi everyone, it's Kim here. I hope this video finds you well. Something that has been on my mind to share for a little while is the clarity around empaths. I find in my practice that I do attract a lot of empaths, and quite often when I'm having conversations with my clients, they have kind of got a feeling that maybe they're an empath, but they haven't ever fully understood what that means. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit today in the hope that it helps you, because I do recall I used to think there was something wrong with me, and I'll go into that a little bit more. So, what is an empath? An empath is somebody who has heightened sensibility, ability to sense and feel, and even absorb the emotions and energies of other people. So often, to the point that we can actually experience those feelings ourselves. So, which is a wonderful attribute. We need more light workers and more sensitive people. However, there is self-care that comes with that. And certainly I didn't know, I didn't realize that I was an empath for a very long time. I used to just have that experience of being overwhelmed, particularly in shopping centres or in hospital situations. Having two sons and very active sons, I did end up in the emergency room quite often, and this overwhelming feeling of suffering that I would would just overtake me, until I learnt how to take good care of me, my energies, and what to do with that. So, let me tell you some traits to help you to perhaps identify. If you have a suspicion that you are, or have ever had an inkling that you are an empath, I would imagine that you absolutely are. But let's just, clarify a few things. So emotional sensitivities, that you feel other people's emotions deeply, often without being told anything. So you can have a sense of a person or what they might be going through. You might feel sadness or frustration or, a desire to be heard. You might pick up these things and have this understanding, which of course often makes empaths incredibly compassionate human beings. There's energetic empaths, so really taking on the energy of other people. You can feel their moods, their stress, their pain, and often until we're really aware of it, we can confuse those feelings for our own. So a great question, if you're ever in a situation and you feel that suddenly this feeling comes in, this different energy comes in, it's always great to ask your guides, is this mine or is this somebody else's? And if it's yours, of course, you have the opportunity that you can understand that more deeply and digest that. And if you get the answer that no, this is not yours, you will get the sense of where this belongs. And of course, this is where you can use, if you're Reiki, or use your intention to to send love and light, and to be compassionate towards that person. Highly intuitive people, so have a strong, we often call it a gut feeling or an inner knowing, often sensing when something's wrong or feels out of alignment. And again, you can be picking this up from other people. And when we're in these large situations with lots of people, that's when it can become overwhelming. So that leads into the overwhelm in crowds. You may feel drained or anxious when you're in large crowds of people. You've got, so many different energies and you're trying to process that. Now, I'll often say, to my clients, make sure that you have a good, strong practice where you begin your day, ideally with some meditation, but with some quiet reflection time, and also some putting some white light around yourself, using crystals. Wear crystals. Ladies can pop them in their bras or have them in your pockets. Choose the crystals that resonate with you, and certainly go into your crystal shop or look online and have a look at what are really great crystals for sensitive people and for protection. So there's lots of things you can do. And for me, often I won't tend to go into large crowd situations if I'm working through something myself, or I'm feeling a little sensitive, or feeling like I'm a little bit more vulnerable than usual. And if I do go into those situations, I know where my limits are. I can sense when I've had enough, and it's time to move on, time to leave, and to come back to self. So you're also somebody that, or could be somebody that deeply cares about other people. Beautiful, beautiful souls that are so compassionate and very grateful for these souls in our world. And also you can be drawn to the healing profession. So caregivers, energy workers, counselors, or creatives. The other telltale sign is a need for solitude. So, we can often look at extroverts and introverts. Extrovert is somebody that tends to be energized by being around other people, whereas an introvert is actually got to come back to themselves to recharge their batteries. So hence the need for alone time. So, this is where we get the opportunity to speak what we need. And it's not always easy, because not everybody understands this, and people can get offended, etc. But the more that you respect and honour your own needs and are aware of them, the more that you can speak that, and you can create it without, causing a great fuss. I tend to find that empaths do really well in nature, that they feel held within nature, that the trees are offering energy back, and really helpful to recharge your own batteries. So there are different types of empaths. There's emotional empaths, there's physical empaths, so feeling the physical symptoms. The emotion, of course, is feeling the emotions. Intuitive and claircognizance, so the clear knowing, that you get these senses that of something. I had it recently. My eldest son, who lives in Spain, was playing a big, long basketball tournament, which he does once a year, and I kept having this sense in the days leading up to it that there might be an injury coming. So, of course, I do my usual white light and protection, and remind him to take good care of himself. And I spoke to him yesterday, and it wasn't at the basketball game, but it was in another sporting that he hurt his knee. So it's not necessarily that we can change anything, because that's not our role, but we can be mindful and we can be non-alarming to people. There's no way that I would have said to my son, I think you're going to hurt yourself, because that could become a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I can send extra love and care, and so he did hurt himself, but it's not not disastrous, if you know what I mean. So we have the power to support. And also environmental empaths, so sensitive to the energy of certain places, to nature and the weather. People can tell when the weather's about to change. And the other one being animal empaths, so deep, deep, deep connection with animals and their needs. And of course, we can be a combination of all of these things. So you might tick all of those boxes, or you might resonate with some of them. So, of course, the challenges being that you can get overwhelmed easily. It can be a challenge to set boundaries, feeling responsible for other people's happiness, and fatigue and burnout. So what do? Regular grounding. So out in nature, like I said, mindfulness, so meditation, breath work is also great. We've got that ability, that technique that I find so simple and so helpful is the square breathing. So in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and just repeat that, and that just will help calm your system. There's another, havening, I think is the word. I learned this from Kate Northrup, where you just actually really start to brush and cuddle yourself, and really, and particularly crossing over your midlines there. That can be something that can really help you. Taking your shoes and socks off and literally getting your feet on the earth, grounding yourself. Sage, clearing your space, and you can use sound, you can use sound bowls, I've got this beautiful heart chakra chime that I use in between clients to clear the space. So whatever, there's many ways that you can be clearing your energies. Taking an Epsom salts bath can also be a really lovely way to cleanse, or setting the intention when you have a shower, please clear my energies. There's also a beautiful song by Lee Harris that says, I release all energies and emotions that are not mine. And I often say that as a mantra over and over again in between clients. So there's many things that you can do. Practice saying no, and you don't have to be rude, and you don't have to be harsh about it, but just check in with yourself when you're invited to do something. Don't say an automatic yes. Ask yourself, is this something right now that will serve you, or do you feel that you have a need for some solitude? So really checking time in around that. And then, of course, creating those times of solitude. Not always easy when we've got family, or particularly if you're parents and you've got small children. But there are ways to find these spaces for yourself. And we get to practice asking for what we need. More and more. It's not selfish. It's actually what is required, because light workers and empaths are being called at this time to serve and to help others. And that doesn't mean you have to be doing it professionally, but it is about having, it's who you're being. So living by example and taking good care of yourself. So I really hope that that's assisted you. If you've got any questions at all, please reach out and let me know. And there's links to my website and places that you can connect with me. So take good care of yourself. Remember that we really need light workers and empaths to be, showing themselves and living more deeply and fully as they are. And I've got this beautiful quote from Brené Brown that I just wanted to read to you. It's really resonated with me. It's from this beautiful book I'm reading at the moment, You Are the Medicine by Asher Frost. And it says, fitting in is about assessing a situation and becoming who you need to be accepted, and we're all guilty of that. Belonging, on the other hand, doesn't require us to change who we are. It requires us to be who we are. So that's from Brené Brown's book, Braving the Wilderness. So more and more allowing us to be our true selves, not compromising our own needs and what our sensitivities. It's very, very needed at this time. All right, abundant blessings until next time.